Oh, here we go. Ready? Charging. Good morning, ladies and gents. We're on my phone today because I forgot the GoPro at home, but we've got a little side quest to do for the 75K10 that Noah is now spraying. This is a kit from, make sure I get this right, Deluxe Design And Fab. You can find them on Instagram and eBay. I will put links here. But what this is a kit that changes your ashtray into a wireless charger, since who really smokes anymore, especially in their show vehicles. This fits 73 to 87 pickups, Chevrolet pickups and GMC, and 73 to 91 K5 Blazer Suburban, Jimmy, whatever it is. It's for the older ones. So let me show you what we got in this kit. This is what comes in it. So this is your new tray assembly. It uses the existing cover from your truck that you have now. So we've got ours getting painted right now. Noah's spraying that. You get some zip ties and some screws. You get a mount for your cigarette lighter. You get an adapter for that cigarette lighter. You get your charging pad. And this is a fast charger. Now, the only thing that you have to reuse from the truck besides the lid is your cigarette lighter. And I'll get into that in a minute. They basically use your original cigarette lighter mounted to the side to power this, since it is a USB connector, hence why you have your power point there. So I'm going to go through the instructions with you and show you how this goes together. This is a pretty nice kit. So this whole assembly they give you is very nicely built. Everything is spot welded together. It's powder coated. You can paint it if you want, or you can just leave it black. We're just going to leave it black. And looking over the instructions, it's pretty basic. So your everyday, once in a while, weekend renter guy should be able to do it. The most involved part really is just the disassembly you have to do to remove your original ashtray, which, I mean, if you're buying something like this, usually you already know how to do that. So pretty simple. Grind out a couple rivets for the stock cover. It bolts back into place. It slides onto the front of here like stock. And then where the rivets would be, they give you a hole in there, which you use your included hardware to screw that back in there. And it's pretty basic from there. You just mount everything. You use a couple more existing or supplied bolts to bolt the mount on there that holds your factory cigarette lighter. And the zip ties they give you are to tie up the extra slack. It's pretty nice. So I'm just going to walk you through, do a slight little assembly here on this unit. I do have my factory stuff here. I'm probably going to clean this a little bit first, but it all works. So step one, you're going to take your USB. You're going to slide it through this hole, and that's going to come out obviously on the other side. And this pocket is nice and tight, fits this charging pad, and everything sits in there really nice. So that goes in like so. Simple, easy, nothing complicated at all. Now, this will run down here because obviously your existing lid goes on here. So this runs down here, and they give you this little slot so everything can sit in there nice and flat and flush. Next up, we're going to take the mount for your existing cigarette lighter, and it mounts to those two holes right there using two of these screws. All right, so that is your cigarette lighter mounted. Now, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to because I don't like this being all rusty. So I'm going to take this over to the wheel and clean it off, and then we're going to mount this in here. Okay, took some Scotch-Brite and some sandpaper to these just because I'm very anal like that. Cleaned up my terminal contacts. So this will use your existing ground spade and power spade for your cigarette lighter. Also, one thing to note, in my many decades of dealership work and people coming in going, my cigarette lighter don't work, when they try to plug a charger in like this, anytime you have one that is still an actual cigarette lighter and not an accessory pocket, you'll have those two side terminals there. What you want to do, and you want to make sure, is always plug this in. So if your side terminals are there, you want to plug this in 180 from those, because if these things make contact with these, you're blowing your fuse, because this is your positive. I have lost count of how many times that's happened in dealerships with me. That's installed in there, so that's how that sits. One thing you'll have to check on your own, you might have to grind away a little bit of powder coat, because usually these are case grounded, but they do give you that tab just in case. And powder coat usually blocks, ground path or electrical path transmission. So you can check it with a test light after. If you have ground, you're good to go. If you don't, you just put a ground spade onto here to a ground anywhere on your chassis. Point in the assembly, you can basically plug this into any USB that you have. I just did it on my computer over there and threw my phone on here just to make sure this is all working. And it is. It's awesome. Can't show you that, obviously, because I'm recording on my phone, but trust me, it's working. Our cover is currently being sprayed in the booth over there. I'm just going to give you some tips on how to run and make sure you have plenty of slack in this. So obviously this is going to change your length when you open and close it. So you want to make sure that it's closed, and then you can run this up here and secure your whole line. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll be back in a second. Since the electronics for the charging pad came out in kind of a weird area and it would be sitting up here, I decided to push it backwards and tape it together like this. Everything's taped up in there. That's all good there. I have plenty of slack for my movement now. I'm trying to do this one hand, sorry. So there we go. This is awkward, one hand. Yeah, so plenty of slack for that movement, and that's good. Now, at this point, you can put it up in the car and test it with your power, but like I said, since ours is in the spray booth right now, I'm just going to hit it with my power probe and verify it there. Well, there we go. So we are together and good. Got plenty of movement in that cable. I have gone over and tested it with both plugging it in the USB and putting my power probe on my cigarette lighter adapter, and everything does work. Now, I have a Samsung 23 Ultra. It's a little bit of a bigger phone. Not all phones will fit in here, but most of them will. Mine does. So if this phone fits in here, then yours should too. So as soon as we get this unit out of paint, I will install it, and you can see how it looks in the vehicle. Well, as you can see, the truck is together. So I'm going to show you how this phone charger works. Truck came out awesome. Interior is like factory brand new. So we're going to jump on up in here. There we go. We're going to open up our ashtray, and we're going to throw my phone on. I will say that in this truck, the cigarette lighter is always powered. As opposed to some trucks, it's only ignition powered. In this one, it's always powered. So we'll throw my phone on, and there we go. We're charging. I know it's hard to see, but it's charging. You heard the little noise. Let's see if I can get to a charging screen here. Hold on. Well, here we go. Ready? Charging. So there you go. That's a nice little product from them. The link will be in the description. They offer a lot of other stuff. We actually got these kick panel speakers, holders, trim panels from them too. And check them out. They got some cool stuff. I'll talk to you later.